Prior to the CNWA event in High River, two wrestlers stopped by Senator Riley to speak about the use of drugs and alcohol as part of the Fight for Life campaign. In the ring, he's known as Massive Damage, but on this day he was Sean Dunster, a man who was able to regain his life after it spiraled out of control from drug and alcohol addictions. Now 4 years clean and sober, Dunster shared his story of addiction and recovery.
For 20 years I've had a pretty bad addiction. It started with alcohol and marijuana, and it got way worse than painkillers, morphine, cocaine, ketamine, pretty much name any drug you want. And I tried it, and I did it, and I lived it. Some very bad decisions I was making in my life at that time. What my message here for you guys today is this. If somebody tells you you cannot be addicted to drugs by trying it once, they're lying to you. Because I only had to try pills once. And I was a full-blown addict on that stuff for years. My other message, unfortunately, guys, from my own experience, is that if you get stuck in this lifestyle of drugs and alcohol, it can kill you.
On the opposite side of the spectrum, CNWA champion Bobby Sharp spoke about how avoiding drugs and alcohol and making the right decisions allowed him to be a champ.
I never ever tried drugs or alcohol at a young age. Not because they weren't there, but I just never did. But the temptation's there. And I think sometimes the temptation's there because a lot of people don't understand it. They think they don't have anything to live for. They think they don't have something that they can reach out for and strive for. And that's totally wrong. There's a lot of things in your life that you can do to avoid drugs and alcohol, that you take your mind off drugs and alcohol. And for me, it was professional wrestling.
Principal Phil Irwin was blown away by what both wrestlers had to say.
They talked about their own life experiences using drugs and alcohol, and how important it is to have a goal and to be able to have something to strive for in their life, because they both shared accounts of losing close friends and acquaintances through wrestling that used and abused alcohol and drugs. And so for the kids to hear that firsthand, to hear the stories, honestly, I would say the majority of the kids were moved by the stories and accounts of guys that they knew that had died from just misuse of drugs and alcohol.
Both Dunster and Sharp love having the chance to have their life stories influence children to make the right choices.
It's just awesome. I watched this kid grow up. I watched them become a great wrestler, and now he's even following in my footsteps, goes to children's hospitals and comes and talks to kids, and you can't ask for a better role model than that.
The two had an immediate impact on the students, as many stayed behind to meet them and get their autographs. For AM 1140, Sun Country and Okotoks Online, I'm Sean Emmett.